When can I choose the order of how things resolve? Now, we all know that when resolving spells or abilities, we resolve everything in the order that they are written. So if we choose all modes with Farewell, first we will exile all artifacts, which could exile Glass Casket. Then we exile all creatures, which would exile the creature that was returned with Glass Casket. Then we would exile all enchantments, which could exile something like Silk Wrap, which would return any creatures exiled with Silk Wrap. Since we already did the instructions to exile all creatures, that creature that came back from Silk Wrap would not get exiled. But if we resolve everything in the order that they are written, how is it that I can make 2 tokens with Hero of Bladehold and have them get the buff from Battlecry? Well, whenever you see a break in a paragraph, that means 2 separate abilities. And the 2 separate abilities that Hero of Bladehold has are called triggered abilities. And the way that those work is that they look for a specific condition to have been met. Once it's met, then it will trigger the ability. Now, the trigger condition for both of its triggered abilities happens whenever it attacks. As soon as that condition is met, those abilities will trigger and they'll be put on the stack right before players would gain priority. Once it gets to that point, if multiple triggers have gone off, the player who controls those triggers can put them on the stack in whatever order they choose. So because they are 2 separate triggered abilities, they are 2 separate effects, and you get the choice of how you want to put them on the stack. Whereas Farewell, these are different modes that you can choose, and they're all part of one big paragraph, which means that it's all one big effect. So because this is all one big effect, we do this in the order that it is written, but with Hero of Bladehold, there's a break between those 2 paragraphs, which means that these are 2 separate abilities and you can choose which order to resolve them.